craziest turn of events, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is actually happening. Everyone thought the next Dragon Ball game would either be a sequel to Kakarot, a sequel to Xenoverse, a remaster collection, but no one on their bingo card could have said we're going to get a sequel to one of the most beloved Dragon Ball Z game series ever, Budokai Tenkaichi 4. And now we all just have questions, and today I want to try to narrow some of those down. And even better, we have some news that wasn't available during the battle hour or during the teaser for the game, so stay tapped in. Here we go. First up, release date, because I know you're just like me and you want to play this game now. I've seen some people saying some crazy stuff like 2025, like this is probably nowhere near done. But if we look back at the main games Bandai Namco has published in the past, we can get a good idea of the timeline we can be looking at for Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Going back to Xenoverse 1, that game was teased as a Dragon Ball new project in V-Jump back in May 20th of 2014. And it would get revealed as Xenoverse on June 10th of 2014 during E3. And after being revealed in June, it was of course released on February 23rd in 2015. So less than a year after its reveal. The next game after that was Xenoverse 2, which would get teased on May 16th, 2016 via a site called flythroughtime.com, where they were showing off a ton of just older games, and everyone was trying to speculate what could this be, for it to actually get its proper reveal the very next day on the 17th of May 2016, showing off that the teaser was just for Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2 would then go on to release on October 25th of 2016, so actually basically half a year later, very quickly. Next up after that, it was Dragon Ball FighterZ, which had some like minor weird leaks like a couple days before, but the proper reveal happened at E3 2017 on June 11th at the Xbox E3 conference. It would then later be released on January 25th of 2018. So again, about another 6-7 month time period where it was teased, revealed, boom, it was officially out. Which then brings us to the last main titled Dragon Ball game that Bandai Namco has published, and that is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which was teased as Dragon Ball Game Project Z, the action RPG, on the 16th of January in 2019 from Bandai Namco's Twitter. It would then be revealed a little over 10 days later on the 27th of January in 2019 at the FighterZ World Tour Finals, and still, by the way, held its name as Project Z. They showed off what it would look like in game, but did not give us a title yet. We got the title reveal card, and I guess you could say its official reveal at E3 2019. And then Dragon Ball Z Kakarot would go on to release on January 16th of 2020. And oh my gosh, it has been so long since we had a main game release. It's just been DLC, 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 and that's what brings us to Budokai Tenkaichi 4, the next main Dragon Ball game to release. And based on all this info, I think the latest we could be waiting for this game is early 2024. I don't think they would have teased that here today and not have it probably within their next 12 to 15 month release schedule. So while that might sound like a far, like, oh God, 2024, it's really not that far. We're already 3 months into 2023. What is life? Now, the next thing everyone is talking about is the roster, because Budokai Tenkaichi is known for its roster. It held the title for most characters in a Dragon Ball game for the longest time. I think really only dethroned by Xenoverse with all of its freaking DLC. But the actual official Dragon Ball Twitter account tweeted out a link to the site where they dive deeper into the game and give us just some small nuggets of info that really sort of clear things up, I feel like. A new game in the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, Dragon Ball Z Sparking in Japan series has been announced. The news came as a big surprise to fans when the new trailer was unveiled at Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2023, a 2-day event held on March 4th through 5th in the USA. Here's the juicy stuff. The first release in the 3D action fighting game series was Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, again, Dragon Ball Z Sparking, all the way back in 2005, almost 20 years ago. The game was such a hit. You know what else is a hit? You liking this video and you subscribing to be here for all this content. Because yes, we will be covering everything about this game right here on this channel. That it was followed up with 2 sequels, Budokai Tenkaichi 2, oh, it was called Sparking Neo. I did not know that. And Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which was called Sparking Meteor. Maybe I did know that somewhere in the back of my head, but anywho, with all 3 garnering popularity among fans thanks to their faithful recreations of special moves. Again, Tenkaichi has some of the best attention to detail, in my opinion, even for such an older game where graphic fidelity has gotten so much better. The attention to detail in Tenkaichi was just, it was great. And massive rosters of characters from throughout the Dragon Ball series. They addressed it. They addressed the roster. Then if you missed the trailer show at Battle Hour, fret not, it's there. We've all seen it. And then more info will be coming soon, so stay tuned. Now with the roster, we're in a different era, right? When Budokai Tenkaichi 3 came out, there was really no DLC. The 360 and the PS3 had barely been out. We were just starting to even grasp the idea of add-on content. Now I'm bringing this up because as I just got through mentioning before talking about this new info, Xenoverse actually launched with like less than 70 characters, but over the course of nearly 7 years through DLC, I'm pretty sure Xenoverse 2 is nearing or over 140 characters. That's just crazy. Now, if you look at the actual roster for Tenkaichi 3, it had 98 characters with a total of 161 forms. I mean, that is just insane. So my guess is we're going to absolutely see people up in arms because there will probably be some characters that were part of the base game for Tenkaichi 3 that will then be released later on in the life cycle of Tenkaichi 4 as DLC characters. Is that going to suck? Yes. In a perfect world, we get all the characters that Tenkaichi 3 had, and then now all the new characters that just plain did not exist in 2007 when it came out. That would be sick. However, I will say one thing, not to cater to them too much, but game development has gotten so much more expensive, takes way longer, all the things now versus then. And we all do love that attention to detail that Tenkaichi was able to offer. And that is only going to escalate now with this game, especially after seeing how good it looks. Because based off just that small 5-second clip of actual in-game footage, this looks to be the best looking Dragon Ball game of all time. And I think that screams volumes after having Fighters and even Kakarot. Kakarot a little bit more polarizing on the style, but Kakarot still looks good in my opinion in a lot of situations. But I think this could top that. And so you start talking about a roster, which they spoke of on the site, that's insane. That's what the games were known for. This could get crazy. And just things like the attention to detail that Tenkaichi was able to offer. Good example, Vegito switching up his fighting style based on whether he was base form or Super Vegito, where he'd start using his feet. I'm sure that's not easy these days. Battle damage. I want to see battle damage in this game. Battle damage was huge back in the day. That was one thing I liked about Raging Blast, that battle damage. And then a huge one we haven't had in a game in forever, and that is beam struggles, dude. Now, finally, a big one, the story. So going back to the fact that we know this is a direct sequel to BT 1, 2, and 3, and I really hope it's like a deep dive. Obviously not like a deep dive in the form of Kakarot because we just got that, but it would be very nice to see it actually have cutscenes and transitions between fights, and could also be innovative, right? Like, I don't know. I would just love to see some really cool stuff done with the story, but I am now curious, will they go just full on the Super route? Because we haven't had an experience within the Dragon Ball Super story yet, really. Xenoverse 2 has it via like some DLC, but it's tweaked. It's the Xenoverse experience, right? We haven't had just the pure Dragon Ball Super story experience. I mean, I want to relive U6 versus U7, Goku Black arc. The Tournament of Power arc in video game form is like something I've been asking for like, what, the series has been off for five years now, bro. Why has it been so long since so many things, man? Then we've got Dragon Ball Super Broly and then Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Are you kidding me, dude? Based off of the actual frames that we saw from the actual gameplay, what Goku is doing is his transformation to blue from Dragon Ball Super Broly. That is exactly what it is imitating in its own sort of style. So the idea that they could do a deep dive into the Super stories with the 2 movies and the 100 and what, like 30-ish episodes we have right now, because again, I don't think they'll touch manga. I am someone who actively plays the gacha games, plays everything, right? Nothing has touched manga. I think manga is like no, you can't do that until it is animated. With gacha games, they would want to have their hands on Moro, all the things that have happened in the manga so far, like that day. I don't think they can touch that, but there's still a lot of story here. If you guys don't remember, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 covered Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Android Saga, Buu Saga. They even had a section for the movies, Dragon Ball GT, and even Dragon Ball. I mean, this game had a Raleigh in it, dude. Like, are you kidding me? And of course, also the what if stuff. I'm definitely not opposed to some what if, but I really do hope we have a deep dive into Dragon Ball Super. I hope that is a massive focus and a massive focus of the roster. I obviously want everything we had from BT3 at some point, whether it's base or DLC, but then also pretty much everything you could imagine from Dragon Ball Super, including Beast Gohan. I need Beast Gohan in it day one. That needs to be not DLC. That needs to be a day one. I bring it home and I put it into my PS5 and boom, I am playing through Dragon Ball Super Superhero and also getting to use a playable Beast Gohan. That sounds awesome. And we haven't had a proper Dragon Ball arena fighter, what is coming up on 7 years. This is a huge moment for the entire fandom. I love that it didn't leak, and I think it made it so much better to just surprise us all randomly in in the middle of battle hour. And my last note here, and this is so important, we need the world tournament mode back. That is so much fun. Now that I do content, I can only imagine the videos we could make with a world tournament mode. Please let us get a world tournament mode. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is real, and I'm so ready to play it.